What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and today we're talking about Pichu. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pichu is quickly becoming and being regarded as one of the most powerful fighters to date due to his speed and his fierce ability to combo into multiple hits. Now, in this video, we're going to be covering his ups, downs, lefts, and rights, his smash moves, really breaking down all the details as well as his damage to self. In past Smash games, Pichu was regarded usually as a joke character, somebody who you would play to kind of handicap yourself in some way or regards. But in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, he's got a lot of power and is definitely very fun to play. I do want to say thank you to Razio for helping to proofread my notes on Pichu, as well as to Nintendo for providing Work2Game an additional copy of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Pichu 101. So a few tips. Now, any move that Pichu is engulfed with electricity, he's going to damage himself. You can see his forward air putting out 1.2%, his back air as well, doing a multi-hit. But you can see I've already put out 7.2% damage. So anything that is going to do electricity is going to hurt you. Now, your down thunder actually has to connect for it to hurt, but anything that touches Pichu that's electricity based, that's really where you got to be careful, because you can easily see over time you're going to rack up a lot of damage. And being that Pichu is one of the lightest fighters in the game, actually literally the lightest fighter, followed by Jigglypuff and Mr. Game & Watch, it's very easy for him to get launched as well. But you can see with his lightness and quickness and speed, it's also very easy to vary doing combos like his down tilt followed by his up tilt. You can do various combos, kind of get the opponent off guard. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to talk about your neutral. Here's a little bit that you need to know. So your normal neutral, you can see I can press and hold, and I'm going to put out 4.3% worth of damage. You can see that it actually pushed me back a little bit, and I'm unable to connect. So you're going to want to be able to like follow this up with another type of move, either a dash, up tilt, down tilt, or something of that nature. You can see also for his normal neutral, you don't have a lot of distance. You can see barely at 1, and that's only when my opponent's animation ended up moving him into that position. So you're going to see it here around 1 square even, and you want to be closer because again, it's going to have that pushback and push him right out of range. Your up tilt is going to have a nice little bounce and a juggle effect, and you can see here it's at 6% even for each hit that I attack with. It's got 1.2 squares worth of range from the front, and you can also juggle them from the back at the same distance. So it's a nice little all-around attack that you can kind of keep juggling them for days. So with Pichu's side tilt, he's going to put out 0.8% damage to himself because he's got this little leg kick that has a knockback effect, and as obviously the more damage that you put on them, the further they're going to fly. But it's going to put out damage to you each hit. This puts out 9.6% damage to them each time you hit them. It's got 1.5 squares of range, so it's got more range than your neutral. Also, your side tilt has a tripping effect, as you can see here as well. Pichu's down tilt has the best range of all at 1.4 squares worth of range. This is going to put out 7.2% damage each time, and you're going to be able to juggle them. So just like your up tilt, your down tilt, you can keep switching this up to catch them off guard. And follow that up with a back air just to add a little bit more flair to your combos. And finally, his dash is going to put out 9.6%. You can see it really helps you get around the level. Pichu's neutral air has this nice little spin and round attack. It's going to put out anywhere from 7.4 to 8.4% damage. And again, it attacks around his whole body. It's got really not a lot of range though, so it's going to see it. You got to get a bit close. But if you're going to be jumping into a range of people, a group of people, this is a really good attack to kind of throw them back. And you see it actually has some launching power to it. Now with Pichu's neutral air, you can see that he launches this lightning ball down at an angle, and then if it hits the ground, it's going to continue to bounce, just like his neutral special, which we'll cover here in a little bit. Connecting with it, you're going to put out 12% damage in the air, and you're going to do 0.4% damage to yourself. Now with Pichu's up air, you can see here 4.8% of damage. This is a great way to also continue to juggle them in the air. And as far as his down air, how far you connect, it's going to put out 14% to 20% worth of damage. It's going to put out damage to yourself because it is another lightning-based attack, and you can use it to smash it in the ground, which you can see it's got a nice little area of effect impact. As far as his down damage, it's going to put out 1.2% of damage unless you do connect it with the ground, which will also damage Pichu. Pichu's forward air is a multi-hit, putting out anywhere from 15 and 16% worth of damage with a multi-hit. It's going to damage yourself about 1.2%. This is a killing shot. This does have a lot of launching power, so just use this to be able to kind of knock them back and into oblivion. Pichu's back air is also another multi-hit combo, putting out anywhere from 12% to 15% worth of damage. Damage to self in this case is going to be another 1.2%, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so now it's time to talk about Pichu's smash attacks. If you guys aren't aware, a smash attack is pressing and holding the right stick in any direction for as long as you want. You're going to see side, up, and down. If you don't want to use the right stick, or if you're playing on Joy-Con only, you can use the left stick and press and hold the normal attack button to be able to do the same thing. So for his up smash, you're going to see it at 1.3 squares worth of range to be able to connect. It's going to put out 23.5% damage, fully charged. Side smash is going to have 1.8 squares worth of range, so you get a little bit more range here, but you're going to do 1.8% damage to self each time. Connecting with it, you're going to see 30.2% damage, so this is a real powerful hit. His down smash is the shortest within range at 1.2 squares. You're going to see it put out 23.5% worth of damage on a multi-hit, and it's going to bounce and throw them in the direction that you're facing. You're going to do 0.9% damage to yourself by using this move. So with the smash attacks covered, let's talk about his special abilities here. So his special neutral is Thunder Jolt. This is going to put 4% damage to self here, and obviously you can see it at 8.4% damage. This is going to have 15.5 squares of range. So right here at this distance, you can see you can be able to normal neutral and be able to connect with him from afar. The difference between this attack and Pikachu's attack is this is smaller, faster, and actually stronger than Pikachu's, but you're going to see that it's going to keep damaging you doing it. There's also a damage fall off that happens after 4 squares. So within 4 squares, you're going to see the 8.4%, but after 4 squares, it's going to only be 6%. 6% is the minimum amount of damage that's done. 8.4% is the maximum. So your side special is Skull Bash. It takes a while to charge to max, but the power is going to be unleashed is really incredibly powerful at 39.6%. You can see it also has a lot of range, 18 squares worth of range fully charged, 8 squares of range with no charge whatsoever. And again, it's going to put out 1.8% damage to self each time. It's quick to go if you don't want to charge it, and it's also great for a feint to give them and throw your opponent off guard. At no charge, it's going to be at 9.4% damage, again, and like I said, 39.6% at fully charged. Next is your down special. This is Thunder. If it hits Pikachu, it's going to put out 3.6 damage to self. Hitting your opponent, it's going to be at 16.8% damage to self, and it's got some launching power. Now, if you use Thunder and it connects with you in air, it's going to freeze you in air. This is really good for edge guarding, and it also sends opponents in the direction that you're facing to be able to launch them back with Thunder. You can also connect with them and have it not hit you, but it is at much less damage to your opponent. So it's 4.8% damage if you don't let it hit Pichu. Again, 16.8% damage if you do connect with Pichu and Thunder. And like Pikachu, your up special is agility. You can change direction and you can get really high with it. You cannot go in the same direction twice. So if you try to do up special up and up, it's only going to go once. But if you do change direction, you can get a lot more height, a lot more distance with it and your recovery. So some differences between up agility for Pichu and Pikachu is that this one will actually travel further than Pikachu's, but cause Pikachu to take damage because it does use electricity, so keep that in mind. It also does not damage opponents if you connect with them while using agility, as opposed to Pikachu, who actually will. Each time you use it, it's going to put out 2.4% damage to self, and only 0.7 if just one jump occurs. But this will give you a +5 to a +12 in height, and that's going to be really good for your recovery. And speaking of recovery, you have two real good options. Obviously you have agility, but you also have your side special. But also from a recovery perspective, you can get that 18 squares worth of range to get that, boost back to the level if you're falling off. And again, at 8 squares, you could still follow that up with your agility move as well. So you have a lot of power. You see here that I was falling into the pit, but because I use side special, I still have agility to follow it up with. All right, so let's talk about his grabs. His down grab is going to put out 9.6% damage. His forward grab is going to do 14.4% damage with 0.6% damage to self because it uses electricity. His up is going to put out 12% worth of damage. And finally, his back is going to put out 10.8% worth of damage. So his forward is the most damaging, but you're still going to take that slight hit to yourself. All right, so finally let's talk about Pichu's final smash. This is gonna have him turn into an electric ball and bounce around the screen. This is gonna do a lot of damage to yourself and a lot of damage to your opponent, ranging from 53% to 57%, depending on how many times it connects. Again, 14 squares worth of range and 15.1% damage to self in this case. So just kind of keep that in mind. There is a risk with it, but it is more powerful than Pikachu's, and it is amazing, as you can kind of attest to that right here and right now. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps us up for Pichu in this game. One of the reasons you want to play him, again, he's fast and he's furious. This means that it's going to make it easy for you to get knocked off the level. But due to his speed, it's going to make it easy for you to follow it up with different combos and different air juggles, as well as different smashes. He's got a lot of launching power, and he's got a lot of risk versus reward gameplay with his special abilities, especially because of the damage that he does to self. So keep that in mind when checking him out. I hope you guys really enjoyed this guide. Hopefully this gives you the 101 information for when wanting to play with Pichu. My name is Brian, and this is Work to Game. Again, let me know if you want to see any other guides, who you want to see. We're working on all the Pokemon right now, as well as all the different characters to get them to you, to break down the core basics, moves, ranges, and percentages. But like I said, my name is Brian. This is Work to Game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Hey guys, it's me. Oh, well, if you don't know me, my name's Terry. I'm a beautiful Tyrannosaurus from Texas, and it just doesn't get more country than that. I tell you what, I grew up in these parts. I was resurrected by a ghost, and that ghost told me that I need to come out and hang out on Work to Game's YouTube channel to tell everybody they should totally hit that thumbs up. Thumbs down make Terry hungry. It makes me hungry. You hear me? Hungry. Anyway, Terry, just keep it together. Keep it together, Terry. All right, guys. So, with that, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe if you haven't already to see more of me and my beautiful nose. Okay. All right. Good talking to you. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you real soon. Terry, the Tyrannosaurus from Texas.